Hi, everybody. Welcome back. It is cold out there. It is really cold out there. I'm Abby Hagyard. This is my tiny office. This is my tiny little corner of the world. I'm up on the 15th floor looking out onto a very sunny, very brisk morning. And I'm looking at all of the locations where the rest of you are. And it seems to be fairly cold almost everywhere. So I hope you're bundled. I hope you're away from the breeze. I hope you've got something warm to lean into and to cover yourself up with, because being that kind of cold is no fun at all, is it? So for those of you who have just decided to join, to say, for heaven's sakes, what is this all about? So a few years ago now, exactly 325 episodes ago, I decided that it would be a good time to kind of get back into the swing of things. I used to work in television. I used to work in radio. I used to work on stage. I did some stand-up, wrote a bunch of books for people, have a little publishing company, basically communicating with the purpose of entertaining and enlightening, which is boring, really, when you say it like that. So I called it show business. And accidentally, a friend of mine said, they're looking for somebody, you need to audition. And I, without realizing what I was getting into, I became a mom. And see, there's the outfit. I became a mom on You Can't Do That on Television. And the next thing I knew, and have continued to know, is how many once upon a time kids are still remembering all of the rather strange bits of advice and wisdom that Abby Mom used to give. And then I became a Care Bear, and then I became a couple more Care Bears. And then I became a bunch of other stuff, voicing and acting and talking and basically kind of navigating. Really, I've got Viking ancestors, so maybe navigating is in the old DNA. The purpose, I always think, in navigating is that if I know the way and I say, that's quicksand, that's a cliff, this is the way, then we all get there. Good morning, Michael. Nice to see you. When we decide that we want to change, we want to shift, we want to take ownership of what feels like the next thing coming, there's a first rush of woohoo, because it takes a lot of guts to say, I'm going to give this a shot. It takes just as much, just as many to, good morning, Warren. It takes just as much bravery, just as much, lean into this, just as much determination to keep going, because the first rush of enthusiasm is kind of and then the slogging sets in, because it's not just one step to the finish line. There's a bunch of them. And what happens kind of in that first wave of, wait a minute, an interesting thing. A bunch of cats following another cat, and the leader cat is saying, I have no idea where story of our lives, really. So the idea is that wherever it is we're going, we're definitely on the move, and that's a good thing, because in case something is coming up behind us, we'd like to be on the move. And what has always happened to me as a former military kid. Good morning, Chris. Yes, good, cold morning. I hope you are bundled, Chris. That's my God. Minus what? With what coming? I have Canadian friends who are living in their RV on a beach down there. And he's from Ottawa, and he posted and he said, okay, I don't want any smart remarks. Because when they go down, they're all going, eh. And now up here, we're all going, uh-huh. So this is all in keeping with the theme today. And the theme today is, how do you find your pony? And this comes from a kind of a one-off remark from a friend of mine many years ago, when I said, good God, how do you stay so cheerful? And her reply was, listen, if I'm up to my neck in it, we all know what I mean by it. If I'm up to my neck in it, there's got to be a pony in here with me. All I have to do is find the pony and ride on out of here. And I said, may I please have that? May I please use that? And she said, be my guest. There are ponies for all of us. Good morning, Daniel. And so every time it just gets to a point where you say to yourself, really? Yeah, pardon me, really? And you're right there. There's a pony in it. There has to be a pony in it. Otherwise, there's no logical reason why we would all be up to our necks in it. So what I wanted to talk about today, especially in light of some major changes that are happening in many of our lives, is that it's so easy to see and feel and hear the giant thump when we hit a wall. By golly, da-da, wham, thud. And the line there saying, give me a minute, is exhausting, because we thought there might be a chance we would miss the wall, or that the wall would miss us, or it would fall down before we got there. And we were really leaning in on that. We were really saying, you know what, we just keep going, we just keep going, we just keep thud, bang, out. And so then the question is, now what? What is my now what strategy? And that's where the pony comes in. Because inside every unbelievable set of circumstances that just don't seem to make any sense at all to us in our moment. Really? Now? You chose now? The other person's saying, why not? What else is going on? Because the other person has no idea what is going on in our heads. They only know what they know. They can only see through these two. If we're standing over there, they can't see through these two until they turn their heads and they go, oh, geez. And then we all understand. We all understand that everybody's looking for the pony, because we're all up to our necks in it. So how do we do that? How? It's good. Good morning, Susan. How do we find the pony? And I was talking to Susan the other day. She said, what's the theme for Tuesday? And I said, how do you find your pony? And she said, oh my God. Oh my God, I can't wait. And so here we are. How do we find our pony? And the answer is, we take a couple of steps back. We take a couple of steps back and we look at the bigger picture. Maybe not right in the moment. Sometimes it takes a few moments. And, you know, Chris and I were talking the other day, and I said, all right, so I was running at a wall, expecting the doors to magically open. And I'm yelling, open sesame, like I've lost my mind in October. And I was full steam ahead. And I was full steam ahead at the beginning of November. And I was full steam ahead at the middle of November. And all of a sudden I noticed that something was not quite in sync. Something was not quite right. But I'm at full speed. I'm at full speed. And then all of a sudden, wham, fall down, thud. Now what? And as I recovered, as I sat there thinking about what was that? How did that happen this time? I realized some things that were very cool. And it wasn't like I was desperately looking for the pony. I said to myself, okay, so this reversal is the shortest one yet. This stop in full mid-stride, in full this, has happened quicker than ever before. So there's a blessing, because the longer you run, the farther you go, the harder you hit, the tougher it is to get up, the farther you have to go back or figure a way around. So this caught up with me early. And I was in the midst of saying, now what? And I suddenly realized I had a solution. And it was right there. And it had been right there for quite a while. I wasn't looking at this opportunity. I wasn't looking at this challenge and this goal. And so the opportunity that I had didn't didn't clearly identify itself to me. It was just interesting. And nourish it, carry it along, nourish it, interesting. No clear purpose. And the person involved kept saying, give me something to do. I'm keen, I'm ready, give me something. And I kept saying, if I had something, I would. And this happens a lot. I'll get a client, or I'll get a potential colleague, or I'll get a somebody who's absolutely ideal as a team member. And they're saying, so what do we do? What do we do? And I say, I'm not sure. Keep busy. Don't go away. I'm juggling as fast as I can to try and find my pony. And in this case, all of a sudden, the pony went boop, boop. And I turned around and I said, oh, there you are. And then I proceeded to take the next very few steps. And Shazam, wow, everything that had kind of gone a little bit off kilter, a little bit off balance, off cadence, suddenly snapped back in, and the momentum picked right back up. And in fact, was better and bigger, and the reach wider very quickly. And I thought, do look at that. I had to get this far in order to be able to make that corner. I had to go this far to be able to see this opportunity. From back here, I couldn't see it. From here, I could see it. It was right there. How you doing? And this sounds really vague, except that the longer you think about it, the number of times you've turned around and said, look at that. That goes there. I was looking for, I wanted to get some silk flowers, spring, bright, colorful. Didn't want to invest just yet in buying live flowers, because it's, by the time you get them home, then they're kind of like this because it's cold. And I was thinking, where can I look? And I was looking online, and I went into a couple of stores, and then I was driving on my way to someplace else, and I saw a store name, and I thought, oh, I bet they have silk flowers. Turned in, drove in, oh, sale on, all the things exactly that I wanted, right there in a bucket, right by the door, sale. And I thought to myself, well, how considerate. That person who put the bucket there this morning said, I have no idea why I'm putting this here. And then when I got to the cash and I said, somebody put the bucket there. And the cashier said, oh, it was me. And I said, well, thank you very much, because you saved me a whole lot of time. And I explained. And she said, I just had a feeling. So this is what I want to talk about. How we find our pony. How we find our ticket out of Hmong. How we move ourselves the pony code, right? Pony code is brilliant. Not mine to own. And the pony is always there. And I don't mean there's always a silver lining. I don't mean look on the bright side. I don't mean any of those, Pollyanna things. I mean that we reach a place that gives us a better view. Way over here, we can't see what's around the corner. Keep driving, see the road sign that says turn coming, fine. Get to the turn, and there it is. And it's been waiting, standing there, filing its nails. It's been there for us. It has been our solution. Why didn't we get it sooner? We weren't ready. Whatever it was that we had to take care of, whatever it was we had to work our way through, we were busy working our way through. And I want to talk very briefly on the subject of choices and outcomes. And I don't want to talk about a specific subject. I want to talk about the overall umbrella, because choices and outcomes directly connects to the pony. Many years ago, I was talking to another clever friend. I love having clever friends. It's so cool. Makes me feel like I'm one of them. And this clever friend of mine, I had done something that turned out rather badly, actually. It wasn't the first time, wasn't the last. And my clever friend said, "You know where you need to work?" Just to kind of get a sense of what's going wrong with you. I said, "Where?" She said, "You need to work for the Department of Unintended Outcomes. You need you need to see you need to see that the thing you see is only part of the vision. You say, 'Oh, look,' and it'll be pink. Yeah, but on the other side, it's going to be porcupines. Like you have to know, you have to take a moment to look all the way around the thing before you say it's perfect. You have to do it." And I love the idea of the Department of Unintended Outcomes. And just because, so I did not mean to do that. Clearly, I did not mean to do that. It wasn't me. Well, it was me. Because when we make choices because we want a thing to be true, we are imposing a make-believe equation on something that isn't make-believe. When we pick someone to spend time with, and we say to ourselves, or a friend says to us, "Not very sociable," and we say, "Well, I kind of like that quiet quality." Okay, today. But when they carry their quiet quality with them everywhere you go, and they are the quiet quality over there in the corner at an event that matters to you, that quiet quality is a bit annoying. What could they not give some effort? Could they not, or stay home? Could they not do something to contribute? No, because they're not social. You thought it was a quiet quality, strong silent type. Okay, that's because you love the idea of the strong silent type. He's so strong. He makes such good decisions. Okay, does he let you make any? Do you insist on making any? So this Department of Unintended Outcomes leads to, I got to find the pony and ride on out of here. And when we get into a habit, and it's a habit, and it's a survival habit, that if it worked the last time, it must be good for us. If the habit is instant gratification, if the habit is wishful thinking, if the habit is someday my prince will come, if the habit is it's just going to happen, we're giving our power away. We're giving our contribution away. We're giving our ownership away. Why do I need to find the pony to ride on out of here? What did I do that contributed to this? Did I take an action? Did I simply sit back and enjoy inaction? Do I seriously think that I alone can save the day? Am I therefore cleverly and ridiculously living in a place called denial, which is just up the road from delusion? Or am I saying, okay, that made no sense. That was going to be really dumb. Thank you very much for rescuing me, whoever you are. Now let's find the pony. So how, Abby, stop just blathering and tell us how we find the pony. And I'll tell you, the pony is actually part of the situation. The pony is the exit. The pony is also the entrance. The pony is also the space we're in. The pony is us. The pony is where we are. And we have choices. I had a very, very good friend, many, many years long, worked with in theater. And she was saying, I'll just make do. And I said, why on earth would you make do? What the hell is wrong with you? Why would you just make do? And she looked at me, and this was another very profound thing. She said, Ab, you're going to learn something in life eventually, that people are more willing to make do with less, to avoid having to be brave enough to choose more. What do you think about that? That was decades ago. And from that statement, which kind of seared itself into some part of my brain, I came to this conclusion that we all do that. She was right. We all do that. We all go on and on and on saying, oh, it's not that bad. I mean, yes, of course, it's this and it's this, but it's, you know what? I'm okay with it. It's not that bad. And I've said this before on my videos. If I went clothing shopping with you and I said, I think I'm going to try this on, and I go into a little thing and I put it on and I come out and I said to you, what do you think? And you said, it's not that bad. Excuse me. I would go back in, I would remove the offending item, and then I would set fire to it. So that nobody ever has to walk out of the cubicle and have somebody say, it's not that bad. What do you mean it's not that bad? What? I'm not investing time and money in something that's not that bad. Except that we do. In the interest of stalling, I am guilty of it. In the dictionary under stalling, there's a picture of me almost, because I didn't quite get there because I was stalling. If we're stalling, hesitation, waltzing, and then we say, oh, fine, we're not ready. We're not ready to take that breath. We're not ready to take that leap. We're not ready to say, I'm in. And even after we say I'm in, there is always buyer's remorse. When some part of us says, are you sure? You can still make it back to the dock, you know. And there is that hesitation when you look at the dock. You say, no, I'm in. I'm in. But we do have that second thought, that second moment, that second hesitation. How do you find your pony? Where do you go in here to say, my turn, my time, my moment? What galvanizes you to say, well, okay, the coffee was good until it got cold and then it was just tepid and brown. So get a different cup. Well, I didn't want to bother the waitress. That's why she's here. She's not working on another job while she's here. So can I have more coffee? Hot? Thanks. You'll pay. She'll get rewarded. So how do you find your pony? And I think the answer on this one, because it is really tough, it is really difficult, is this. We need to keep our eye on the ball. We need to keep our eye on why we came, on why we chose to say, yeah, okay, you know what, I'll check it out in the first place. We need to remember why we put on that dress and said, I wonder what this looks like. Oh, this will be different. And then we catch a glance in the mirror at the back of us and say, yeah, that's a little more different than I had in mind. Set fire, gone. Why did we make the decision in the first place? Were we bored? Susan and I had this conversation the other day. I was thinking of a different picture. Why? The picture you have is stunning. Why do you want a different picture? I don't know, just something fresh. No, that you're bored. It's not fresh for everybody else. There's a billion people who have not seen this picture yet. And when they see it, they're going to go, oh my God, this is fabulous. Who is this? I guess so. Yep. So why are we thinking we need something different? Why did we say yes? Why did we decide to get in the boat? What made us ready? What was the ball that we said, that, you, me, us? What was that trigger? If you write down the trigger and you look at it, inside that trigger, you can see the outcome. I got invested in a book project a few years back. Susan will laugh and laugh and laugh. Many of you will laugh and laugh and laugh. It took me a while, but now I laugh and laugh and laugh. And I said to myself, I want to write a book about somebody who's impossible. It'll be a romance. And the universe said, really? The universe said, you sure? Because I got one. And I said, it'll be fast. I said, it'll be this story where this and this and this and this and this happened. It'll be amazing. And the universe said, really? You sure? Yes, 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 I'm sure. All right, then. Foof. And you know what I got? Got exactly what I asked for. Where's the pony? Pony's over there filing its nails. Oh, now you need the pony. I see. And in the middle of it, in the exhaustion of it, in the ups and downs and the trials and tribulations of it, I lost sight of the fact that this was what I asked for. I lost sight of the fact that what I said I wanted was not the actual experience of it. I wanted to be able to write about it. I wanted to be able to paint this picture of ultimate train wreck experience. And I forgot that while I was wanting it, I forgot that little adage that is so indelibly true. We can only write what we know. We can only depict what we ourselves have experienced. Oh, Abby, come on, all these alien films. Are you telling me that, you, in order to write a hit film about drooling lizards from outer space, you have to have encountered one? No, because the drooling lizard aspect of it isn't the point of the film. That's just the clothes they wrote in on. It's a Western. It's good and evil. It's bad guys and good guys. It's the age-old struggle of might versus right. And once again, in both cases, the internal thread is keeping our eye on the ball, remembering why we came, remembering why we chose to buy and wear that God help us outfit, why we chose to link our lives with that particular set of individuals on that particular path. What were we thinking? Were we setting ourselves up to work at the Department of Unintended Outcomes? In many cases, yes. What were we thinking? And I can tell you what we were thinking. We were not thinking of the now. We were thinking of the potential future. And we all have to do that. We all have to have a map. We all have to know where it is we want to go so that we can plot a course on the map. But while we're driving, we need to keep our eye on what is happening in our day, on our path, in this moment. We can't be full on 100% imagining how lovely it's going to be lying by the pool in a day and a half. We have to be alert and maintaining. Driving at dusk saying, oh my gosh, it's only one more day. And a deer jumps out and says, hi. And, and before we can say what, the next thing we hear is bang, which is us and the deer colliding. We owe it to ourselves. We owe it to those who are traveling with us. We owe it to the people who are investing their time in anticipation of our arrival. We owe it to the yes we said to keep our eye on the ball. Why? Because if we lose sight of the ball, we can end up wandering down all the wrong paths. We can get caught up in momenta. It would be more than one momentum. We can get caught up in the wonder and the magic and the momenta of the moment. We can become influenced by the mob. And then all of a sudden, if the mob moves on, we think, wait, what the hell was that? Oof, dodged a big one there. How do you find your pony? What is your reset button? What is your go-to pivotry technique? Who do you pick? You know how I pick the who I need of me? How I take a look at all of my alter egos over here, and then I take a look at all of my alter egos over there. Those there. And I say to myself, well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, bears of all shapes and sizes, which one of us is the best one suited to step up for this one? And I review how adept and inept and how timely and true and terrifying my previous choices have been. I do it fairly quickly now because I practice. What I'm looking for is the simple win. What I'm looking for is the best way forward for me, based on the ball that I have my eye on. Because waking up in the morning up to our necks in it is such a disappointment. Because all the things we had planned for the day now take a back seat. We got to find the horse. We got to climb on the horse. We got to pick ourselves up after we fall off the horse. And then we have to ride on out. And then get on with the day. Every single one of us is fighting something. Every single one of us is welcoming something. Every single one of us is relaxing and saying, oh, thank you. Oh, how great was that? How good does this feel? Wow. Did I deserve this? Yes. Every single one of us has said, dear God in heaven, who is it that allows me to do all this stuff? We've all been through every single one of those self-diagnostics. Every single one of them is predicated on forgetting to keep our eye on the ball. My favorite people who came into my life as clients, and as we collaborated and connected and elevated and energized and gave and took in equal measure on the path to getting them where they need to be, and getting me educated and adept at helping them achieve that space and that place. we look back and we talk about the moments when we kept our eyes on the ball and when we didn't. And we can see, when you look back, we can see clearly, we remind each other, oh my gosh. And we laugh or we hug. And with any luck, we write down so we remember the get it, forget it, get it page, that this is a learning curve. I was looking up quotes. I'm working on a really lovely book for a client who, it's his heart piece. It's about dignity and grace and bravery and commitment in the face of oppression. It's lovely. It's an homage book, a legacy book. And the details in it, some of them are pretty ghastly. And I'm moving them around and organizing them so it isn't, a terrible bit here and a bit here and a bit here that we have to slog through. I'm positioning them in a way so that people are ready to hear something and see something and then appreciate what the people went through. And when I was talking to him a week or so ago, and I said, I think we need a defining quote. We need a defining observation about life that will underpin the title. We need to say something about what happens to us when we get carried away and we forget why we came, why we said yes, why we said, does that ball come in blue and green? Yes, I'll take it. Does it come in yellow and red? Yes, I'll take it. Does it come in black and gray? Nah, you know what? I'll save that. We forget that we had choices. We forget that we made them. And most importantly, we forget why we thought the choices we made were good. This is not a beating ourselves up exercise. This is not a hair, shirt, shame, blame conversation. This is understanding what we were thinking, why it made sense, how we're able to see its flaws now. What did we learn along the way? Because how we find the pony is a completely involved process in understanding why we need the pony. Understanding why and how we are flawed, because we're human, and why and how an idea that was monumentally crazy looked good at the time. What we were thinking, not what were we thinking, not asking, but recognizing what we were thinking. When Susan and I first started our journey together, one of the comments that she made at some point was, it's kind of a happily ever after thing, you know? And I said, happily ever after what? And she said, what? I said, happily ever after what? Well, like marriage and weddings and they all lived happily ever after. And I said, no, I understand. My question is, happily ever after what? The ceremony? Lunch? We got to the reception. I got to take those shoes off that were killing me. Is that it? We have to define the word that comes after the word after. Happily ever after. Happily ever after what? Because the what is the ball. Happily ever after the choice we made in order to get the ball. What did we want the ball for? What did we think having the ball would enable us to do? What did we think it would place under our feet to give us the momentum and the reach we wanted, we thought we needed. How do you find your pony? Why do you look for your pony? Do you say to yourself, this is not what I had in mind, and now I'm going to move on? Or do you say, well, you know what, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. I'm okay, I don't mind. Because the question then is, why should you have to settle? Why should you have to make do and be good about it when what you're given is less than you deserve? Why would you do that? How does that serve not just you? How does it serve all the people who love you and depend on you? How does it serve all of the tribes that we belong to? I did this exercise yesterday with Dave, my banjo playing tech genius. I said, you know, if you draw a little circle, you write the word you in it because that's you, and then you draw a bunch of circles around you, all the way around your circle, draw a bunch of circles, a bunch of them, I don't know, 20. And then in each one of those circles, you put the name of something that you are part of. Each one. What do you mean? Okay. Family. Oh, okay. Yeah. Neighbor. Okay. Community. Okay. You play any sports? Yeah. What do you play? Golf. Golf. So then country club as well. Oh, yeah. Okay. What else do you do? I'm a car nut. Okay. Car. So mechanic. So magazines on cars. Car shows. How do you travel to the car shows? I drive. Okay. So highways. Where do you work? Job. What do you like to do for recreation? That. What's your favorite kind of food and where do you like to eat? That. Every single one of these circles is a tribe, and you belong to each of those tribes. And sometimes you're the leader of the tribe, and sometimes you're just one of many in the tribe. But if you go often enough, it's like Cheers. Everybody in the tribe knows your name. They know what you do. They come to rely on you. If it's only the guy sitting next to you. Hey, John, good to see you. Listen, I thought you might be coming. I already ordered your coffee. Every single one of those tribes is something that we're part of. We give ourselves to. We show up for. We take pride in. We have fun. We get frustrated. All of them, every single one. However many. If it's more than 10, you're very busy. Okay. What happens if you make a decision and you wake up and you're up to your neck in it and you say to yourself, there's got to be a pony in here because I'm going to ride out of here. You know why you need to ride out of here? I'll tell you why you need to ride out of here. Because everybody in these tribes is counting on you. You are counting on you. And if you can't show up, or you show up to your neck in it, and they're saying, ooh, no, stay over there. Your decision not to prioritize you, your decision to say, it's not that bad, affects every single person that you're in touch with, that you connect with, that your ripples impact in all those tribes. And ripple effects are interesting because every single person in those tribes, in that tribe right there, every single person in that tribe walks away from their encounter with you, covered all over in the same stuff that you needed to ride out of on the pony. Why? Because it's contagious. Happy is contagious. Fear is contagious. Hungry is contagious. Yawning is contagious. These are all survival feelings and survival triggers. And we are tribal herd creatures. One of us goes, what was that? Everybody else goes, where? survival. So how do you find your pony? If you don't know, we need to talk. If you do know, you need to share, which means we need to talk. And the comments today sounds like me working on renovating a new room. Yes, yes. What we have, what we have here is a failure to communicate with the other part of our brain. You do a thing and the other part of your brain says, what were you thinking? And you're going, what? And all of this impacts everybody else. I had a brilliant conversation yesterday with somebody who is battling all kinds of incompetence and trying to remain cheerful and doing a fine job, doing a really fine job in the face of it. And I had asked for some assistance on something, so stops by, we have a chat. And at the end of the chat, this very dedicated, hardworking, talented person said, I have to get back to it now. I said, life has a way of forcing that upon us. And he said, yes, it does. Yes, it does. This was great. I'm glad I could help. See you soon. Walks away. So in the process of helping, we got to unload the kvetching and the sniping, got rid of it, and then we laughed at each other's kvetching and sniping. So we cleared all of that. And then I went back to work, and that person went back to work, and life continued on. Because what that moment was, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, bears of all shapes and sizes, that moment was the pony. That moment of connection, of recognition, of laughter, of, are you serious? Of belief, of commiseration, of celebration, of, boy, I'm glad I know you. That's the pony. The pony is the part of us that says, all right, enough stalling. Let's do this. The pony is our inner us, our drive, our readiness, our willingness. There is no external pony. It's always us. It's always been us. The energy that fuels our pony, wherever it comes from, whomever we feel generates it, that we welcome the energy, that we welcome the opportunity, that we buy into the decision that we only got this if we want this, if we want better, if we want different, if we want empowerment. How do you find your pony? Walk over to the mirror and look in your pony's eyes. Let me know what happens when you do. Let me know what happens. You can comment, you can message me, you can chit chat amongst yourselves. Just never forget, we are the pony. We get to ride on out of here when we're ready. When we realize that we took our eyes off the ball, good. Good that we saw it. Good that we realized we got distracted. Now we can put our eyes back on the ball. Now we can refocus. What is in it for me today? What is it for? How does it work? What will it change? who will care. If you tell yourself you're happy with less, that is what you will get. That doesn't mean it's what you deserve. Guaranteed. I have Viking ancestors who've mentioned it to me over time. I've had military ghosts mention it to me over time. And I have seen the evidence of it. Thursday, I have something really, really fun to talk to you about. I'm hoping, I'm thinking, I'm planning, I'm investing my energy in temperatures warming up in the cold places, and the strife and the stress in the overheated places will hit a bit of a lull. And you'll be ready for a laugh. And I think you'll enjoy it. Okay? So between now and then, you know the drill. Be good to you. Be good to you. You deserve it. You are the pony. And remember to hug your loved ones, because they deserve it too. Thank you for being part of this 325 journey. Thank you, and tell your friends. Let's make it a bigger group, and let's keep it going, because there's more to talk about. There's more to share. There's more to learn and grow and change and leverage. I'll catch you next time.